Hey, how are you guys doing? This is Shamika with Dear Shamika, and I have a special guest with us today. This is Curtis Austin, and we were talking about people losing weight, gaining weight, and how people treat them. And so, Curtis has some experience. How much weight did you lose?
Let's see. I went from 200 and about 250 at my highest, and I got around 166 pounds. So it was
Wow.
at the time it was 70 plus pounds or something like that. Yeah, something like around. It was close to 70 pounds. 70 pounds.
Why? Why did you want to lose weight?
It was something that I struggled with literally my entire life. It's funny. I've got two brothers. I'm the middle child, and I grew up the weird one. Both of my brothers were skinny. I was the one that was heavy set. You know, the advantage I had to that was I got brand new clothes all the time, but nobody wants to get new clothes when they're a big kid, right? So, I struggled with it for years and years and finally, I was like, I gotta figure out how to do this, how to get it off, and how to make a plan that works.
Okay, how did you do it?
Honestly, it was consistency. A lot of times the thing that really happened was I would get started, but it would take too long to get results, or I would get discouraged, or I would find any reason to stop exercising and just to fall back into my old habits. And just this time, it was just, you know what? I uh I had a team, and that's what made a difference. Like I found friends, a group of people who were into it. And when you're posting in a group and then you're not hitting your workout and they're hitting their workouts, it changes things for you. So that's what,
Accountability partners.
man.
What was your driving factor in losing weight?
One of the things was definitely my children. I didn't want to be that guy who grew up and now I can't run around with them. I can't play with them. I can't get out there with them. I can't show them things. And so that kind of was a motivation for me. You know, of course, I always wanted to lose it for myself. But when you get your children involved and you've got other people looking at you and you want to change for them, makes things a little bit easier and give you a little bit more determination to stick with it.
Mhm. And also, so we talk about treatment. I'll get into dating later, but overall treatment, could you tell a difference in the overall treatment from people, or was it about the same?
Oh, it was a difference for me. As I got closer and closer and well, further and further away from 250 pounds, the amount of attention I got just went up.
Could
Um,
you give some examples?
okay, one of my favorites was my best friend went to UT Martin. He came in town, so we went to Planet Fitness, did us a workout or whatever. We went to the mall, and him, hey man, she's with her boyfriend and she's still looking at you. And I'm like, I know it happens all the time now. And it was amazing just to see the difference, just the comfort. I get to walk around with shirts with no sleeves. I get to, I get to wear, you know, I'm not gonna call them tight shirts, but fitting shirts. I mean, you name it. I got to enjoy.
Medium? No, just saying.
Maybe some mediums going on, but I got
But
to
you could actually fit them comfortably.
fit them comfortably, and people noticed, no matter where I was.
Mhm. Do you feel like it was because of the weight loss, or did the confidence come from all the attention, or
I,
do you
th-
feel like it was a mix of confidence and the weight loss?
I think it's gonna be a mixed bag, but one thing about it for sure is when you look around, and I don't think most people do this, but I tried it one time. I decided to count just the number of people I see that are in shape versus people that are not in shape. And I just did a little bit of people watching at a park or at a mall or anywhere, and you're gonna notice that the majority of people are gonna be overweight. That's just what it is. That's just America for you.
Mhm.
So when you lose it, it puts you in another echelon. You know, of course, that's not saying that it makes you a better person or you're gonna be nicer or you're gonna those personality things, but you look different from what I'm used to seeing. You stand out from what everybody is used to seeing. And so because of that, well, I want to talk to that person. I want to give that person a chance. And I'll be very honest with you. I was mumbly mouth, measly, whatever the word is for that, but people would still give me time to hear what I'm talking about or what I'm saying because they found me attractive.
So you're even people were generally nicer despite some of your flaws based on the attractions. So what let's go into the when you were overweight. What are some things or some mistreatment that you experienced while being overweight?
Oh, well, I have straight up had a situation where, you talk to somebody and I have been told, well, you're nice, but you're a little bigger than what I normally would talk to or what I'm attracted to. And you kind of have to take that in stride. There were also a few times where among a group of people, and you're with a group of friends, and maybe some are closer to being uh height, weight proportion, or maybe closer to being in shape versus you and a friend that's first out of shape. They got more attention, more looks, and it was conversations came to them faster than they did the person myself that wasn't so wasn't in shape or looked the best or stood out in that group. Um, I don't know. Even sometimes where I felt like even in passing, where it's just one of those, how you doing, or it's a nice day outside, or just having small talk with somebody. I felt like they were more interested in having small talk with me after I lost weight, which to me, I just thought being nice was being nice. But after I lost the weight, I realized like, no, it works different. It really does.
How does it work differently?
Um, when people, those who have lost weight or those who look more attractive, I would say losing the weight puts you into that pretty privilege conversation. You can still be pretty, but most people look better the more weight they tend to lose or the better shape that they tend to be in. So you get more privilege, more opportunities for even just conversations with people that normally you might think, hey, that person is probably out of my league, something of that nature.
Okay. What are some of the privileges you feel like you've gotten based on losing weight?
Uh, Believe it or not, even as a male, discounts. Yes, I've been in stores. You get looked at, you get noticed when you walk through the door, and now from that point, it's oh, you see something? Okay, let's talk, and you get stuff out of that. So even monetarily, even attention, like I said,
What? You ain't gonna skip over that like you just didn't say that. Somebody gave you what happened with that?
with which part?
The money.
Well, it sounds bad, it does,
No.
but let's say you're dating. Um, the threshold with which I have to invest in you, my time or my money, or impressing you on the first few dates or whatever, it it comes down a little bit when your looks go up. I don't know why it's that way. I would just assume because you seem to be more valuable. Well, hey, since I can't see people like you more often, I don't see people like you everywhere that I look. I'm gonna give you a chances or afford you chances I wouldn't give to the next person. So, like I said, as far as money, like discounts, even when you're dating, you tend to not have to put up as much. Um, uh, I don't know. I do kind of feel like when people see pretty people, they're more likely to give them stuff. I mean, it's hard for me to always point out examples of things because I've had.
But you do feel there is a difference. Was there ever a time when you were overweight that you kind of felt invisible?
Um, it's hard to to say how much of that invisibility was necessarily completely because of my weight and how much was more so my confidence, maybe my personality and where I was. Because I prefaced that by saying was I was a little different. I feel like most people you learn you learn to love yourself. For me, it was weird because after I lost the weight, almost seeing other people increase their value in me made me kind of go, what have I been missing all this time? So
So I'm gonna stop you right there. So if it's easier to, and that's just human nature, kind of like, you know how people go on Facebook and you may make a post, and then your value in that post is validated by how many likes or comments it is. So it's human nature to feel more appreciated when people are consistently complimenting you and being nice, and it's not just you and it's not in your head. And it's easier, in my opinion, to have a sense of confidence when people are constantly validating you, if
okay,
that makes sense. So people treating you invisible, they may have treated you invisible because certain people they don't see, but now it's like, oh, you've arrived. Where have you been?
and there was a lot of like that feeling of, I guess, invisibility. It kind of started for me kind of young. Um, Simply because, like I said, I grew up with two brothers that were, that were in shape, and so I would get singled out as the, the fat kid or the fat brother or things like that. So at times, I would almost want to be more invisible because,
Because how
it,
people treated you.
right, based on the differences that my brothers have been given, So, um, at times I would get overlooked because, well, that's the heavy set one. Then there are other times where I would just straight up want to be overlooked. So, not
Because
that.
you had normalized being overlooked. So
Mhm.
I'd rather you not say anything than to say, oh, that's the fat brother, or that's the overweight one, that's the chunky one, that's the husky one, you know. So and it's hurtful, especially, growing up as a kid. You're a kid and you're psychologically going through all this torment because people are being really just being mean.
And then of course, you also have to throw in family members because family a lot of times they will tell you that they're not being offensive or I didn't say that to hurt your feelings, but literally if I'm telling you that what you're saying is hurting my feelings, you have to understand no matter how you meant it, it's hurting my feelings. So
Mhm.
I got a lot of the, oh, you bigger than I remember, or
From
you,
your family.
yeah, just people, and they all will think that it's not offensive. It wasn't a problem. I didn't, and it's like, yeah, but I'm, I'm struggling with my weight, and you're making a sidebar comment about my weight. It's not helping my situation. It's not giving me confidence. It's literally pointing out something about me that I don't want put into the forefront, and I'm struggling with. So, um, invisibility, like, yes, at times I would say I wanted more of it. There were other times where I wasn't the attractive brother, so I was the one that tended to get overlooked a lot of times.
So would you say that you and your brothers did you like, when you were overweight, did you like going out with them because they were your brothers, or did you try to avoid going out with them because you already knew there was going to be a difference in attention?
I think like for me, I still liked to be out. I still like to hang out with my family because I mean I did have a lot of love for them, and then, that stuff wasn't necessarily their fault, or, anything like that. I'll say I kind of grew to kind of sort of deal with it. It kind of was something that I had been doing for so long that it kind of became second nature for me. Uh, so I, like I said, I spent many, many years trying to figure out how to lose weight because I didn't want to deal with it. But at the same time, it was something that I had to get used to because it happened so often. It was just something that was part of my makeup at the time.
Okay, let's talk. I'm taking you back. Let's talk about growing up and being in school, and you were overweight in like high school and elementary school as well, correct? How did that impact you? Like, were you picked on, or were people mean to you in school?
I can remember elementary school getting more so picked on, and then I think that I'll say by middle school, high it's talked about, but in Memphis, you have to learn how to deal with getting checked. So it was kind of, it was one of those things where I had I had developed enough to put on enough faces to where if somebody said something that didn't bother me. But I knew when I was by myself, like, yeah, I was still bothered a lot by my weight. So it was something that I just learned how to deal with because it's like people aren't gonna leave you alone. Like I don't know exactly how to say it or to speak it. Like I can raise my children to not be bullies and things of that nature because I know what I went through. But when you're out there, I mean, it's just whatever. You know, luckily I was a funny guy. You know, I was a nice guy, so I spent my time learning how to make other people laugh. And when other people are laughing, they don't like to talk about you because you're the nice
So
guy.
it was basically a way to get out of being laughed at.
Mhm.
And how long did you endure bullying? Like we call it checking, but really it can become bullying because growing up and going to public school, people will jump in. So
Mhm.
one person will start, but you may they call it being roasted. There's just it's I mean it's funny when you do it with your friends, but when you're targeting people you don't know and attacking them, it does hurt. So psychologically, how long did it take you to get over the bullying from being overweight from high school, or did it still impact you until you lost the weight?
If I'm being honest, like over it, it took me, I would say, well into my 20s. Um, reason being, because in high school, I just took it as well. I just got to deal with it anyway. I didn't really think as far as this is something I need to heal from. It was just, well, I just deal with it and I deal with it. And so I didn't really, kind of like earlier we were having the conversation about kind of loving yourself.
Mhm.
I don't think I knew exactly what that meant, or kind of, I didn't. So many things about myself that I just did not understand until my 20s anyway. So I just kind of took it, dealt with it, and then just kind of like, well, I'm the big kid, so what they do to the big kids, you know.
And
So,
we talk about the checking and the esteem. So did you date? Like when you were in middle school or high school, did you date? Or
so middle school, high school, not very much. I can remember a few young ladies, and even as a senior in high school, I always thought it was funny because there was one particular person who used to tell me all the time, "You do know you're extreme." And I used to be like,
she said what? Your mic went out.
"Oh, I'm sorry." I had one individual who would tell me all the time, "You know you're sexy, right?" And I would
Was
always
she your type? Was she somebody you were interested in?
somebody I was interested in but afraid of because I thought they must be telling me this because they're lying to me. So I had been taking the I guess the things that people were projecting on me, and I started to believe, well, this is about what my value is. And so it just took so long to get out of that, and it was crazy because there were always people who would always kind of tell me like, I value you more than you value yourself. Like, what's going on with that? And so there were, young ladies in high school, and then even my early 20s. I was in relation in my early 20s, and they thought a lot higher of me probably than I thought of myself as well. So there were always people who felt like, I mean, I'm not an ugly guy, I was, but I just didn't carry the confidence or what I needed. There may have been way more opportunities for me. Matter of fact, once I started figuring things out, I kind of realized I missed a lot of opportunities. But it that was my journey. I mean, that's just kind of where things took me. So yeah, I did get attention in my, even in my late teens, early 20s.
But it's not as much as you get now.
Oh no, no.
So you know for sure it was based on like your weight because that's how you can't judge anybody by anything but their looks when you first meet them because that's all you see. So being the overweight kid is
It's something.
and so huh? I'm
It's
sorry.
a thing where I've I've always been a nice person. I've always been smart. I can make people laugh. I can do it. I've got a great personality. But it was just one of those things where when a person looks don't know that's what they want from the outside, they're not gonna get to know you. That's just not how it works. I'm where people go after what they want. And some people got to know me and figured out, oh man, this is it's an A+ person, it's a top quality person. But unfortunately, when that wait's there, people kind of go, well, I want to take the time, and a lot of times it's no, I don't want to take the time to even get to know.
Wow. That's because I can only imagine. Uh, well, I've been through it as well, so I totally get it. As far as overweight women, so when you were overweight, do you feel like you gave the same privileges that are afforded to you to smaller women, or were you more open minded due to your weight?
I would say that I was slightly more open minded. My thing was just always like, and I'm just gonna kind of be honest about it. I'm already 250 pounds. I didn't want somebody that was bigger than I was, so I was like, if I'm 250 and you're 220, it would be like, well, what can I say? Some people was, well, 220 will still be overweight, but I can't sit there and I'm 250 pounds and I want a supermodel. Like, you can realistically want
You
that,
could have wanted it.
but I just wasn't. I guess for me, it was like, well, I don't work out and eat right, but then I gotta put an expectation on another person to attain something that I have yet to attain. That's
Hmm.
wouldn't, you know,
But you didn't. But it couldn't go over 250 either.
I didn't want anybody that was gonna be bigger than I was. I'm like,
Okay. And was that because of like just something that you're not wanting, or was it just because was it a personal preference, or was it because of your own weight?
I
Because if it's a personal, that's fine. It's no attack.
I think it's a combination because me now especially, to be honest, the what I'm attracted to has gotten even smaller. So I think like it's always been smaller than me. So even as my weight went down, still the
Mhm.
uh, it went with it, if that makes sense. And then plus there aren't very many heavier women in my, and so I kind of noticed I tend to like this. I don't know how to explain it, but like how they say guys kind of tend to like women that remind them of their mothers, or like for a lot of time, like it be around my mom's color, around my mom's height, really short, same thing. So yeah,
I'm laughing at the really short part.
mom is 5'1.5".
Oh yeah, she's really short.
See,
Oh, but yeah, the weight. And I didn't even ask you what's your height. You said you were 260. What's your height?
5'11".
I can only imagine how many people are walking around who haven't lost weight yet, who are being discriminated against, not only in the dating world, but just in general. Because, like you said, Memphis is a cruel, like, I love Memphis, but let's keep it real. We can be a cruel city. So people will stare at people, especially if they're extremely overweight, and just being friends. And then I didn't even talk about like your friends. We talked about your brothers, jealousy, friendships and jealousy. Since you've lost weight, did you ever experience jealousy among your friend group
Uh,
because you were getting more attention than they're used to, or was it they were cool?
that's one thing that I never got. None of my friends ever. I never got a hint of jealousy or anything like, oh man, you get more used to, or anything like that. Um, Partly it might be because majority, I think my closest friends were married kind of early, so maybe they didn't have it. It could also be because they knew me and just knew who I was about, and man, I'm not running around to try to take all the women and be. Uh, I think that went back to who I was and why I was friends with them, because
Mhm.
my friends, we've been friends since middle school, so they knew me way back when I was struggling with that and all this stuff. So they were more so happy for me than anything. Like, no jealousy, just happy for me.
Okay. And could you give the people some tips on what you did to lose such a? Also, how long did it take for you to lose the weight before you go into the tips on how to?
Um, I want to say somewhere around maybe the year plus time period, maybe like a year and a half, something like that. Um,
That's a good amount of time.
the thing was like you wanted to take a long amount of time because I mean not long but
Yeah,
longer.
true.
If you yo-yo it, the chances of you getting that back are just it's. I've done that too many times. Like I've done yo-yos tons of times. Like they don't work. Um,
So for the people, can you explain what yo-yo is for the people who may not know?
if you're so that yo-yoing is when you're just bouncing up and down in weight. I'm gonna try like you'll see. Mate, was it? I think it might have been you that posted it. Al Sharpton's Kale died. I think. Like if people are what
Just gonna bust out, Lord, Mr. Al Sharpton. I just posted the diet. I didn't say anything bad. Go
got
ahead.
but people tend to do those, and those things are so drastic that you can't keep up with them. And then
He's been in that way for a whole year. That's
yeah,
all he eats is the kale salad.
and so the majority of people, it just does not work like that. The majority of people, their level of discipline, like, and I don't think you should feel bad that you can't achieve the same level of discipline that he did. Like, that's not going to work for everybody, and I would recommend you not try that. When I lost my weight, I did not stop eating fast food. I just
Wow.
less fast food. Uh, there were times where I had, of course, all my meals done out and planned out, and there were times that I didn't. So what I would recommend to people is number one is consistency. You got to be consistent with what you do. Um, the way it works out, math on a paper is gonna be you want to average 500 calories a day negative. So at the end of the week, it's like 3,500 calories total for that whole week. That's gonna equal out to a pound of weight loss.
Hmm.
So the reason I say an entire week because some people they'll have a bad day. You don't have to throw away your over a bad day. I've got a goal of 3,500 for the entire week, and that's how I did it. Taking steps back and just being consistent. I might not be every day, but I didn't lose a whole week. I might not have exercised 7 days or 5 days. Sometimes I didn't even make all 3 days, but I didn't. That didn't happen to me over and over and over again. Uh, Another one. People complain about they don't have enough time. That's one of my biggest ones that I like to just. I just want to. If you can watch 16 books of power and 75 love and hip hops and I don't know whatever else, you've got 20 to 30 minutes to exercise in your living room. Heck, if you want to put the love and hip hop on and move around, there are things like that, smaller things, that are gonna help you. So consistency, start working out, even if it's just walking. Okay. Some people don't. I got tips for that. Some people are don't think that walking does anything. So if you can't get a 30-minute workout, do 10-minute. Do three of those. If you're at work, some people have sedentary jobs. Guess what? Get up, go for a 10-minute walk. Guess what? You just raised your heart. Now, if you do that 3 different times, you just got 30 minutes worth of working out. It's part of your break time. Easy, easy, simple stuff. So it's not you're not trying to be a movie star. You're not trying to be a professional athlete. Like that's not what you have to do. Just being consistent. Eat better. You don't have to eat great. Eat better. For me, literally, it started with McDonald's. I can't even eat this anymore. I would get a double quarter pounder with cheese, supersized. I could eat. I used
Before?
I used to eat that.
Oh,
I
before I was like,
I could eat that easy. So the first thing I did was I stopped supersizing it. Then I think I moved to a regular quarter pounder. Then I moved to a quarter pounder, and it wasn't large anymore. Then I went to the quarter pounder, and I got a diet coke. And then I
Progress.
moving to maybe just a cheeseburger. So you don't have to like it's people make it so hard, so complicated. It's not. It's not.
Yeah,
Consider
just got the habit of doing stuff.
Mhm. You don't have to give everything up. Matter of fact, I feel like if you cold turkey get you're more likely to fail.
That's true.
That's just me though, you know. Some people got that discipline. If you do, hey, all for you, you strong, but hey, I cannot do that. I couldn't do it that way.
Yeah, and it'll change your quality of life. You'll feel better. Your clothes will fit better. You'll be happy. Seriously, because working out also helps with. I have anxiety, and I work out. So working out also helps if you're an anxious person. Like my mind, like people say, "How do you do so much?" But my mind is always going. If you work out, it will slow your mind down because you're concentrating on that one thing. And it like overall people will, sadly, we live in a society where people are judgmental and people can be cruel. So it will help you, especially if you're trying to build a brand or navigate through corporate America. Losing weight, and being getting to a healthy weight and getting in shape will help you. Sad, I hate to say, it's just,
Business.
it's sad to say, but people can be mean.
Mhm.
And there are certain people who take it, like he said, people gave him money because they found him attractive because of weight loss. So,
You remember what is it? The guy that put the mug shot up, the light skinned guy had his
oh
mug.
yeah, yeah.
Next thing you know, a billionaire's daughter started dating him. So like, if you were attractive, just he went from his mugshot being posted to dating a billionaire's daughter just because of how he looks. So you know, if that's not a reason to lose some weight, you know, it just
And do it for your health as well, y'all. People are dying.
right.
Like COVID, a lot of the underlying conditions came out. So yeah, we talked about dating. We've talked about a range of things. Is there anything else you have to say before we end this live?
If you are thinking about losing weight or you're trying to get in shape or do something for yourself, you can do it. 100,000% possible. Thing about it is you have to get up off the couch and go for it. It starts with a walk. It starts with a small jog. It starts with I'm going to put that down. I don't need that. I'm going to drink a little bit more water today. There are just small things you can do that are going to go a long
I'm
way.
gonna tell you something. This is what, remember, before I started this, I had to go to the rest. Y'all gotta get in the water, especially like he said, short people, like 5, 10 pounds, all that. 5, 10 pounds is a lot depending on your body type. So you could lose 5 or 10 pounds and transform how you look. But I think only 10% of people who lose weight keep it off. So sodium reducing, so reducing all the salt and seasoning, um, drinking water, not overeating, trying not to binge eat. Binging is just overeating, but in large sums. So just y'all got this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all got this thing. You don't want to plug your social media in either.
I mean, I'm just Curtis Austin, man. Y'all see me on Facebook. If you have any questions, anything like
Curtis, what happened to the podcast you're supposed to be
that.
creating?
I don't know what direction exactly I want to go yet. I've kind of been thinking about what I want to do, but as you saw with this, I tend to go a million miles, and so trying
No,
to
that's what it's all about. I'm a plug in. So for anybody, I got an up and coming podcast. I'm gonna be teaching people how to create a podcast. That'll actually be on my YouTube channel. So for anyone who's wanting to create a podcast, it's gonna be about 20 to 30 minutes of just me helping you get the base of your podcast so we can win together. I don't want to be doing this thing alone. I want to take winners with me, so we're going to be talking about podcasting. Curtis is a creative. He has so many ideas. Why not monetize those ideas? We giving Facebook all these ideas for free, typing statuses, getting likes. Now what? Why not make that into an episode? So we're going to be discussing that within the next upcoming weeks. We're going to talk about creating a podcast. You'll be able to ask questions. I'll be able to answer questions. Also, if you want, I do branding. So if you're wanting a one-on-one strategy, you'll be able to connect with me and we can create your strategy, maybe the name of your show, the direction you're going in, and how to format your podcast, what equipment you need, and all that good stuff. But you need a podcast, Curtis Austin.
Gave me some homework. Appreciate that.
No, you don't even have to do look, if you don't even have to do homework or guesswork because I already got the blueprint. So all you guys have to do, look on my Facebook page. I'm not sure of the date, but the date is listed on my Facebook page. I'll make sure to tag you in it after this video as well.
All right. Thank
Say
you.
bye, Curtis.
I had fun.
Me too. Bye.